Hi, I'm Mac McGarry. Here's the opening scrimmage in the championship game of its academics' 14th season. Here we go. Announcing he will not seek re-election for a fifth term, Whitman.
Proxmire.
Stuart Symington, playing the guitar and singing at a White House dinner in his honor, was Kenneth Kaunda BCC.
Pop.
Zambia, the president of Zambia. Picking Winners is Andrew Byers' new book. Unhook that one now, Whitman, unhook that. Picking Winners is Andrew Byers' West Springfield.
Horse racing.
That's right. Here we go. Former Argentine President Hector Campora has become a dentist in Mexico after leaving his homeland, Whitman.
Brazil.
In a dispute with Isabel Perón, no points. A record field of 2,000 runners,
Boston
BCC.
Marathon.
Marathon, right. Touring the United States in a production of Ibsen's Hedda Gabler, Springfield.
Ingrid Bergman.
Glenda Jackson, no points there. Another Part of the Wood is the autobiography, Whitman, of Kenneth Clark. Now at New York's Metropolitan Museum, BCC.
Scythian Goals.
Scythians is right. That's good. The film Lucky Lady will feature what singer? Whitman.
Streisand.
Liza Minnelli. No points there. That, ladies and gentlemen, the opening scrimmage. You've seen teams from BCC, West Springfield, and Whitman on its academic.
It's academic. Brought to you by Giant. Giant, the quality food people.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, our studio audience, and welcome to our program. As I say, this is the championship match of our 14th season on the air on It's Academic. The winner tonight will go on to the intercity match, the Super Bowl, against the winner in Baltimore. Let's meet these teams, each of which has won 3 games already. Team number 1 is from Bethesda Chevy Chase High School in Montgomery County, Maryland. Here again are Perry Richardson, Norman Schneider, and Alfred Sturdivant from BCC. Team number 2. From West Springfield High in Fairfax County, Virginia. Here again are Terry Swift, Bob Whalen, and Roy Englert. Team number 3 is from Walt Whitman High School in Bethesda. Here are Andy Walsh, Jim Esserman, and Stuart Baker. Tonight, our schools are competing for the championship awards. The winning team will take home a handsome trophy honoring them as the grand final winner for the 1973-74 season, plus a $1,000 scholarship for their school. The runner-up teams will also win trophies and scholarship funds, and there they are, and they really do look beautiful. Now we'd like you to meet our 3 faculty scorekeepers this evening. Without them, we couldn't get on the air, so we especially welcome them. Here first is Mr. George Kohut from Whitman. Next, Mrs. Edith Dury from West Springfield. And Mr. James Biedron from Bethesda Chevy Chase. Into round number 1, remember each question answered correctly in this round is worth 10 points. If you see the lights above the team's name go on all in a row, that will indicate they've answered 10 questions in a row correctly, and that's a bonus of 25 points. BCC's turn now, so West Springfield select. Bob?
Number 2, please.
2. Why not? For Perry, Norman, and Alfred. Here we go. Magicians pull rabbits out of hats, but the hat trick is a feature of what sport? Hockey is right. The whale is the largest mammal. The smallest is what mouse-like creature whose name
Shrew?
Shrew is right. Now, New York Harbor boasts the Statue of Liberty, who is a very large lady. But Little Mermaid draws tourists to what capital city?
Copenhagen.
That's right. Check your monitor, choice. Painting by a French artist whose very original style had a profound influence on later artists. Was he
Cézanne?
Renoir? Cézanne is right. In ancient Rome, the sign Cave Canem meant beware of the dog. But who is warned to be wary?
Fire.
Louder.
Fire.
That's right, in Caveat Emptor. Choice, the point at which a nerve impulse passes from the process of one nerve cell to another nerve cell, is known as an effector, synapse, or
Synapse.
That's right. Choice, perhaps the most prolific American author was Frederick Day, who wrote 40 million words in dime novels about what detective? Nick Carter, Frank Buck, or Horatio Alger?
Nick Carter.
Right. The expression 3y equals 3 minus 2x is an equation of a line. What's the slope of the line?
Negative 2.
No, negative 2/3. No points there. BCC 90 after it's part of the round. 90 points. Shot for West Springfield. Whitman's right, Jim. 1. Number 1. There you go. Terry, Bob, and Roy. Although shipwrecked by Moby Dick, Ishmael avoids becoming fish meal by floating on what
Coffin.
sort of... Louder.
Coffin.
Right. August St. Gaudens, the only sculptor in America's Hall of Fame, was born in what largest city of Ireland?
Dublin.
Right. In India, it's traditional to spin cotton on October 2nd to honor what assassinated non-violent Indian...
Gandhi.
That's right. Check your monitor. Choice. Painter of this portrait, The Age of Innocence, was what famous 18th century British artist? Gilbert Stuart, Jamie Wyeth, Joshua Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Right. Choice. In Hamlet, the bitter prince compares Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to what poisonous snake? Boa, python, or adder?
Adder.
Right. J.D. Salinger took the title The Catcher in the Rye from an old Scottish folk tune, which had been transcribed by what Scottish poet? Who compared...
Burns.
That's right. Choice, a mixture of two acids called aqua regia will dissolve gold. One acid is hydrochloric.
Nitric.
Let's say again.
Nitric.
That's right. If pens sell 3 for a quarter, how much will 6 dozen cost?
$6.
That's right. If you were somewhere over the rainbow, you might... Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, the end of their part. Their score, West Springfield, 90, just as BCC. Whitman's turn, BCC select. Norman? Hey, Norman, over here. 8. You got a shot now, Andy, Jim, and Stuart. There were stormy times in store for Louis XVI after Frenchmen stormed what prison?
Bastille.
That's right. A seashell is at home on the bottom of the sea, but on what London river is the shell often on top?
Thames.
That's correct. Here you go. The rousing song, Hail, Hail, the Gang's All Here, is set to the music of what English composer who ganged up with Mr. Gilbert to write...
Sullivan.
Sullivan, yeah. Monitor choice to see the painting Woman with Umbrella by what French Impressionist artist noticed for his Water Lily series? Picasso, Monet, or Modigliani?
Monet.
Right. Ireland has no snakes, a blessing shared by what Pacific island nation?
New Zealand.
That's right. Choice, which one of these animals would complain if someone really did invent a better mousetrap? E.B. White's Stuart Little, Kipling's Rikki Tikki Tavi, or A.A. Milne's Eeyore?
Rikki Tikki Tavi.
Stuart Little, the answer on that one. No points. Choice, how many valence electrons are there in an atom of chlorine? If the atomic
7.
number... The 7 is right. A 13-foot square floor is covered by a rug 12 feet square. How many square feet of the floor remain?
25.
That's right. That's right. W.C. Fields borrowed the phrase. All right. Whitman's score is 70 after it's part of the round. That's the end of round number 1. All right, the judges will check the scores, and as they do that, I'll remind you that this year a total of $30,000 worth of scholarships has been awarded by Giant Food to our participating schools. These scholarship funds usually total $500 per week and increase when we have playoffs and semifinals. Tonight, on our grand final, the schools will be awarded a total of $2,000 in scholarship funds. The winning school will receive a Giant Food scholarship for $1,000. The school that comes in second and the school that places third each will receive a Giant Food scholarship of $500. These funds will be used by the high schools to help worthy students continue their educations. Today, we're honored to have 3 guests from Giant with us to make the presentation of the scholarship certificates, and we'll be introducing them right at the end of the grab bag free-for-all round on our show. Now, getting into round number 2, let's check the scores with you at home first. Bethesda Chevy Chase has 90, West Springfield also 90, and Walt Whitman 70. There it is. Now we go to our round where we introduce penalties for passing or missing a question. Half the point value, 5, is deducted for a passed question, and those questions are made available to the other teams. And let me say this now. If you put your light on for a passed question before the round is over, the chance at the first passed question automatically goes to the other team. So just don't put your light on before the round is over. If you miss a question, the entire point value of 10 is deducted. So if you're ready, BCC, Springfield select.
Number 9, please.
Number 9, West Springfield, that is, selecting. Here you go, BCC, start the clock now. We are told that birds of a feather flock together, but what wise bird elopes with a pussycat?
Owl.
That's right. Today, nearly all British politicians are Tories or Labourites, but Gladstone and Lloyd George both belong to what third party, whose name suggests the opposite of conservative?
Liberal.
Right. Military officers are nicknamed the brass, but children used to play with soldiers made of what other metal? Tin is right. Monitor if the equation, in the equation, what is the positive value of x when
4.
x squared? That's right. That's good. Hunger is the best sauce, was a saucy comment made by what plump squire who traveled with the gaunt Don Quixote?
Sancho Panza.
Right. Choice, unlike light, sound waves cannot be polarized because they are transverse waves, compression waves, or ether waves.
Compression wave.
Right. Pledging to clean up the government, former President Martin Van Buren ran unsuccessfully as a candidate of what third party? Whose name, say again?
Whig.
Free Soil Party. 10 points down on that one. The difference between the squares of 2 consecutive integers is 51. What are the 2 integers?
8 and 7.
25 and 26, 10 points down. The only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about. Said what British wit whose portrait of Dorian Gray is still...
Oscar Wilde.
That's correct. The two Americans, a doctor and an engineer, mainly responsible for the successful... attempt that, there's a lot more to that. We'll hold that one for another time. BCC 140 after you're part of the round. 140. Turn now for West Springfield. So witness like Jim? Three is still here for Terry, Bob, and Roy. Edgar Allan Poe not only wrote short stories, he also wrote a short poem to what woman whose name matches that of today's pop singer Miss Reddy?
Helen.
That's right. Binoculars would make a good present for a member of the Opera Society or a member of what bird-watching society?
Audubon.
Audubon, right. Mind your business was the forthright motto of what Revolutionary War dollar that shared its name with the Congress. That's right. Check your monitor. If triangle ABC, which you see, is a right triangle, what's the length of altitude BD?
12 and a half.
12, 10 points down. Guessing that the grass was greener southwest of Greenland, what Viking leader is said to have sailed to Newfoundland around the year 1000?
Leif Erikson.
Right. Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin, but Uncle Tom's Children was a book by what black author, best known for his novel Native Son?
Pass.
5 down. Choice, when calcium carbide reacts with water, one of the products formed is calcium carbonate, acetylene, or carbon dioxide?
Carbon dioxide.
Acetylene, 10 points down. A rectangle has a width of 8 and a diagonal of 17. What is its area?
120.
That's right. Our Congress has an official speaker, but the 19th century Congress of Vienna took a lot of off-the-record advice from a conservative Austrian diplomat and prince.
Metternich.
Right. You can read about milk and honey in the Bible, but about honeydew and the milk of paradise, that light went on before the buzzer. Do you wish to attempt this, BCC?
Richard Wright.
Richard Wright is right. That's good. Okay. West Springfield's score is 125, and BCC got the shot at that pass question because the other team put the light on before the buzzer sounded. Now it's the turn for Walt Whitman. BCC, select please. Okay, here you go. Andy, Jim, and Stuart. The poet Tennyson describes some tears as idle, but those shed by a hypocrite are likened to the tears of what reptile?
Crocodile.
That's right. Ads for a new biography of Henry Stanley read, Mr. Stanley, I presume, a phrase referring to Stanley's own utterance to what explorer?
Livingston.
That's right. A sailor uses what same word when he identifies a speed of 1 nautical mile per hour? Not is right. Monitor. What number can be substituted for x in the expression so that the logarithm of x minus 5 equals 0?
6.
That's right. Ulysses' crew might have said, we had a swill time after they were changed into swine by what cruel sorceress, whose name ironically rhymes with mercy?
Circe.
Right. Shame of the Cities, a turn-of-the-century expose, was written by what muckraking journalist?
Steffens.
That's right. Now, choice, how many low-grade sulfide ores are concentrated by filtration? Many low-grade sulfide ores concentrated by filtration, flotation, or evaporation?
Flotation.
Right. How many quart bottles can be filled with 2 10-gallon cans of milk?
5.
80, 10 down there. Choice, according to Chaucer's Wife of Bath, that which women most desire is perpetual beauty, equal rights, or sovereignty over their husbands.
Sovereignty.
That's it. In the bitter time before the Civil War, Southern Congressman Bully Brooks physically attacked what abolitionist Senator...
Sumner.
Sumner is right. You got 9 out of 10, I think, Whitman. 150, the end of round number 2. End of a round. That's it, the end of round 2. Come on. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. Now, before we get into our next round, let's check the scores with you at home, and of course, wish good luck to the members competing on our show tonight. Team from Bethesda Chevy Chase has a score of 150. Let me mention that Perry Richardson is going on to Brown University, Norman Schneider to Pennsylvania, and Alfred Sturtevant to Yale University. Good luck, fellas, and thanks for being with us throughout the year. 150 points. Let's give them some applause now. Come on! Team number 2 here, West Springfield, has a score of 125 points, and Terry Swift going on to Princeton, Bob Whalen to the University of Chicago, and Roy Ingrid will be right there with Terry at Princeton. Good luck to you fellas in the future. Thanks for being with us. And here's the score at Walt Whitman High, 150 points. Andy Walsh going on to Trinity College in Hartford, Jim Esserman to MIT in Cambridge, and Stuart Baker is a junior, and I bet you we'll see you back here next year. Thank you fellas very much from Whitman. Now, getting into round number 3, this is a round where we double everything. Double the risk of penalty for passing or missing, and double the point value to 20 for each correct answer. And I remind you again, if you put that light on before the round ends, You automatically exclude yourself from a shot at that first passed question. Let's go now, BCC. Your turn. West Springfield select. Bob?
5, please.
5. All right. Perry, Norman, and Alfred. The British called Sir Francis Drake a sea dog, but his Spanish enemies gave the name of what ferocious monster that puffs fire?
Dragon.
Right. If you dug a hole from Washington, D.C. through the center of the earth, you'd emerge not in China, but near what smallest continent?
Australia.
That's right. A Greek phrase meaning leading a double life gives us what name for the class of vertebrates that includes frogs and presumably frog princes?
Amphibian.
Right. Listen, wait for this one. Liebestraum, a work by what Hungarian composer and virtuoso pianist, also known for his Mephisto waltz?
Liszt.
That's right. Choice, which of the following fictional animals would most likely be fed a dish of cat food? Dorothy's Toto, Fern's Wilbur, or Alice's Dinah?
Dinah.
Right. Though we associate Andrew Jackson with Tennessee, he was born in what southern state that sired his great adversary, John C. Calhoun?
South Carolina.
That's right. Choice, certain muscles in the human body are under voluntary control. Such muscles usually belong to a group called striated, smooth, or visceral.
Pass.
Pass.
All right, 10 down. The sum of the integers from 1 to 11 inclusive is what?
71. 71.
71.
66, 20 down there. Choice, although British monarchs had the Church of England, they retained what Catholic title granted them by a 16th century pope? Light of the
Defender of the
Arians,
Faith.
Defender of the Faith is right. Now, the English town of Devon was a staging area during the Second World War. But in what John Knowles novel is Devon, the New England prep school of Gene and
Separate
Phineas?
piece.
Separate pieces, right. That's the end of their part of the round. Light to see West Springfield.
Striated.
That's right, striated is good. So West Springfield, you pick up 20. BCC score 280 after its part of the round. 280. West Springfield shot now. Whitman, your turn.
6.
6 it is. Terry, Bob, and Roy. During the 1920s, the nickname King Louie was used by what jazz trumpeter, later known as saxophone?
Louis Armstrong.
That's right. You'd probably get burned if you took poet John Donne's advice to go and catch what falling object?
Meteor.
Star, I want star specifically, 20 down there. Choice, if you were parsing sentences in the United States Constitution, you'd note that the first word is what part of speech? Verb, a pronoun, or noun?
Pronoun.
Pronoun is right. I heard pronoun louder than the other one. Now listen and wait for this one. Here we go. March of the Dwarfs, written by what composer whose Peer Gynt suite is his most popular work?
Tchaikovsky.
No, it's Edvard Grieg, 20 down there. In 1923, when Turkey was declared a republic, the capital was transferred from Istanbul to what city with 3 A's in its name?
Ankara.
Right. I gave you the best years of my strife. Might have been Maria Theresa's rebuke to Frederick the Great during what numbered conflict, also called the French and Indian War?
7 years' war.
Right. Choice, every sugar is an aldehyde or a ketone. This means that in every sugar, there has to be at least one double, triple, or quadruple
Double.
bond. Double, right. If the median of a trapezoid is 13 inches long and the altitude is 7, what's the area of the trapezoid?
Pass.
10 down. The United States has produced many famous Adamses, but what adventuresome American author created Nick Adams in a short story?
Hemingway.
That's right. Mistrust first impulses, they are usually good, was the cynical advice of what French foreign minister who did his boss Napoleon a few bad turns?
Talleyrand.
That's right. That's the end of their part of the round. Whitman.
91.
91 square inches is the answer to the math question. West Springfield 235 after its part of the round. 235. Now it's Whitman's turn here. BCC select. Okay, Norman, over here now, please.
4.
All right. It's a turn for Andy, Jim, and Stuart. Mark Twain's innocence went abroad, but his Connecticut Yankee went abroad to the court of what legendary?
King Arthur.
Right. Many famous trails crisscross the United States, but the longest continuous marked trail is what one name for the mountain range running from Maine to Georgia?
Appalachian.
Right. Although he had a lot of nerve, title character Philip Nolan is described as the man without a place of national origin.
Country.
Right. Listen, wait for this one. If you fell asleep at a concert, you'd be surprised by the sudden
Haydn.
crescendo. That's right. Haydn is the man. Choice. Which of these men was the socialist candidate for president every 4 years from 1928 to 1944? Norman Vincent Peale, Norman Mailer, or Norman Thomas?
Thomas.
Right. Choice. The water molecule, which is a polar molecule, is an example of which of the following types of chemical bonding? Resistant, ionic, or covalent?
Covalent.
Right. The pakada are the magic sounds that transport what James Thurber character into a secret world where it
Mitty.
becomes-
Mitty.
That's right, Walter Mitty. If a map is drawn to a scale of 1 inch equals 1,800 inches, how many yards are represented by 1 inch?
50.
That's right. When Charles de Gaulle went abroad to organize free French forces, he was court-martialed in absentia, sentenced to death by what collaborating French regime?
Vichy.
Right. Lavinia is a clown in Shakespeare's All's Well That Ends Well, but Lavinia is a tragic heroine in what O'Neill play based on the story of Clytemnestra and Agamemnon.
Take your time. It's
What do you say?
Morning becomes electric.
That's right. You got 10 out of 10. Get a bonus of 25 here. There's Zackham. 10 out of 10 on that. All right, that's the end of round number 3. And now we're going to check the scores with you before we go into the grab bag free-for-all round. Bethesda Chevy Chase has 280, West Springfield 235, and Walt Whitman 395. Here's the grab bag free-for-all round. I've made the big leap forward for it, and this is the round where a team which is behind has a chance to catch up. Each correct answer in this round is worth 20 points. I acknowledge the team whose light I see appear first. If you put that light on, you must give me some answer. 20 points deducted for a wrong answer, and this'll do it now. Here we go. In Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury, Quentin Compson's sister has what nickname? Springfield.
Caddy.
That's right. Most temples are above the ground, but ironically, there's an underground Temple of the Sun in what large New Mexico cavern? West Springfield.
Carlsbad.
That's right. The C in UNESCO stands for cultural. But what does the letter C stand for in the fund called UNICEF? Whitman.
Children.
Right. Boston poet Robert Lowell wrote Lord Weary's Castle. But Weary Blues was a book by what Harlem poet whose last name? West Springfield.
Langston Hughes.
That's right. When a person is killed in action, he's said to bite the dust. But he's said to bite what ammunition? BCC.
Bullet.
That's right. Choice, only which, take the light off now, only which one of the following does not experience a metamorphosis in its life cycle? Houseflies, earthworms, butterflies, BCC.
Housefly.
Earthworms, 20 down. President Ford likes to ski in Colorado, but 1976 might be a good year for him to switch to what New England state where he could ski to the earliest primary? Who has that? Whitman.
New Hampshire.
That's right. What is the sum of the interior angles of a trapezoid? Whitman.
360 degrees.
That's right. At a conference in 1966, the famous slogan Black Power was adopted by what civil rights group whose initials suggest the center of an apple? Whitman.
Core.
That's right. Since he was the son of a minister, it's fitting that Woodrow Wilson is entombed in what Washington religious landmark? Whitman.
Washington Cathedral.
That's right. Water spouts on the roofs of Gothic cathedrals were often carved? Whitman.
Gargoyles.
Right. According to the title of a short story by J.D. Salinger, it was a perfect day for West Springfield.
Bananas. Banana fish.
That's right. Choice, all of the following rays are electromagnetic in nature. That means you come to the end of the game. You've got it. The end of the competition. The judges are going to check the scores. While they do that, it'll be my pleasure to introduce to you the 3 members of the Giant Food family who will be presenting tonight's scholarship awards. Welcome first, Alice Flannery. Tells me she was Burke before she married Flannery. Hello there, Alice, from the Giant Food Store at 10400 Old Georgetown Road in Bethesda. Her scholarship award goes to Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. And next, welcome to Loretta Lombard from the Giant Food Store in the Kings Park Shopping Center in Springfield, Virginia. Loretta has the scholarship certificate for West Springfield High. And here is Verna Samuel from the Giant Food Store in the Westwood Shopping Center in Bethesda. Verna will take her place beside our team from Walt Whitman High School. And as you take your places, ladies, let me mention again that these Giant Food scholarships are granted with this thought in mind: to help worthy students continue their educations. Giant never takes a part in the selection of that individual student, but leaves that choice and the distribution of the scholarship money to the high schools, and they take care of it through their regular channels. And I'm telling you, we had some very nice scholarship awards to present tonight. Thanks very much to the excellent team from Bethesda Chevy Chase in Montgomery County. A score of 280, the Giant Scholarship for $500, presented by Alice Flannery. Thank you, Perry, Norman, and Alfred, for being with us. And thanks, too, to the excellent team from West Springfield High School in Fairfax County, Virginia. They have a score of 315 points, another Giant Food Scholarship for $500, presented there by Loretta Lombard. Thank you very much, Terry, Bob, and Roy. Good luck to you next year when you go on to college. Now, here is our winning score in Bethesda, Maryland, 515 points, Walt Whitman High School. They get a Giant Scholarship of $1,000, presented by Alice Flannery. So this means that our winning team, Walt Whitman High, will be back this Monday night, June 16th at 8 p.m. to represent Washington in our 4th Super Bowl against the Baltimore winner. You be sure to be with us Monday night, 16th of June at 8 p.m. Don't miss this exciting game, and be sure to join us again next season when we come back for our 15th year on It's Academic. Thank you, parents. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, everyone. Mac McGarry, good night for It's Academic. Now, come on up here. Yeah.
It's Academic has been brought to you by Giant. Giant, the quality food people.